Hello. Today is my privilege to have Danny come with me. He's a really good friend of mine. Congratulations to Danny.
Thank you.
And you just moved into the house probably
That's
2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. I know it's a
Yes.
lot of effort. I was told, just now you mentioned to me, it took 3 years.
3 years. That's right.
To build his dream house. It's not just one, it's a subdivision home.
Subdivision house. Yes.
Maybe I'll just give a bit of background to the audience. It is a subdivision lot at a really one of the best suburbs, probably Melbourne, McKinnon, sought after suburbs.
Yeah.
So the contract is about $1.3 million contract, so it's not a really small contract.
Yeah, it's a big
And
contract.
I heard there's a bit of story behind this.
Yeah, it's been to build this house. We've been through two companies.
Two companies.
Yes.
Why you engage two companies for one project?
So the reason I changed to another company is because at first we signed a contract, which we call DNC contract, a design and construction contract combined together, and then it's the reason we want to change it because there's some mistakes or misunderstanding from the designers. That they don't know the rules or the
local. Is it so? You're saying that the first company that helped you, they either make some mistakes. Is there mistakes on the drawings? Or
no,
can you be a bit more specific?
Yeah, just they're not familiar with the local city council's regulations and stuff.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, and then the variations required by the city council. And all the extra costs, it's all just like come to me, and then this is not fair because it's their misunderstanding that we don't know about the design, since they're the designer, but they've made the mistakes and they like charge us for the variation from city council. So I would say that's not fair. And then we paid 50 grand of deposit to them.
50 grand deposit
to them, yeah.
Wow.
And then we feel like
wow.
This is only the start. We feel like it's gonna be more trouble in the
continue,
future.
there will be more issues.
So we just
let go the 50 grand. Wow,
Yeah,
that's gone down to the drain altogether.
That's
Wow.
right. Yeah.
So probably it's a bit of struggle at the beginnings already.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. That's why.
So how do you then move to have that first experience, and how do you move to the next company?
The next company, to be honest, is actually this house is. Can I say that?
Yeah, not exactly the name if you don't mind. So
Yeah,
maybe
I'll
just
just
a
say.
bit hint what's
Yeah,
in.
this house is like a
so-
wedding gift from my
Oh, okay,
parents.
okay.
So since I just got married, so my dad.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My dad, want to have this house done like as soon as possible. So we kind of like chose, without any researches, so we kind of chose one of the biggest company in Melbourne.
Wow.
And then we signed again a DNC contract.
Oh, so it's the
Again.
second time you
Second
want
time.
to. Any particular reason why you persist to go on to the DNC, which is the design and construct contract? Any particular reason?
Because I'm not familiar with this field, with the construction and design, this kind of field. So I want just to leave everything to the company. So I don't need to worry about anything. Then that's the reason.
So you prefer, basically the whole concept is that you prefer what they call it one-stop shop.
Yeah, one-stop
And no hassle, no worry, I'll just do it one party and get the job done. Yeah?
That's right. Yes.
Okay, so how was the experience?
Experience. I mean, the house is a good house, but the experience is just it's expensive because when you sign the DNC contract, it locks you in. It locks you in means in the later stage they ask you to get the money raised or like
Any variation?
any variations they will raise a lot of money for that, and then you can't say no because when you say no they'll say okay you choose another company and you got nothing left because all the copyrights all the copyrights of the drawings and stuff belongs to them.
So basically you got locked in right from the beginnings. Once you got locked in, you have to gone through the 3 years, almost like 3 years experience with this one party. So a bit of
Yeah.
a big decision to make, a bit of big risk too. Taking quite a big risk.
To be honest, at the start, like they just say the general price would be cost 800,000. We thought it's fair. It's a fair price to do a townhouse, and then afterwards they will say, this is money raise that, money raise this. So after that, from 800 grand to 1.3 million.
Wow, so it is like, what's the percentage? This is like, wow.
It is, wow.
From 800 1.3, I haven't got a calculator,
So
not me, but it is like 30, 40, it's like
40%.
40%?
Yeah.
Wow, if it's in my industry, if this is such a big change in valuation, definitely there will be lawsuits, there's a lot of legal aspects, against the architect
from the starting,
they
they offer you a standard pack of this house. And then the standard pack, you just can't live in that standard pack. For example, the regulation is 2.4, the ceiling height.
Your standard is
the 2.4, I can literally touch the ceiling without upgrading. Yeah, if you're upgrading, then that's extra
money. Have you heard about, before you sign in to get into the situation, have you spoken to people that have similar experience? Have you done much research?
No, that's why I spent like 1.3 million building this house. Wow. So my suggestion to my friends in front of the screen is maybe don't save money on the architect's firm. You have to spend money on to those designers because they know things that you don't know. So I would suggest you to get an individual architect company and then fund your own construction company, separately.
So because you can tender, right?
Yeah, you can tender to compare for a better price.
Builders that you can choose from.
Yes.
And I think also the risk, right? Because initially, if you engage an architect, I know so probably architect's fees is not the same scale as in the construction costs. So I think that from that perspective, you are minimizing the risk.
That's right.
Even if you want to change architects, it's not a lot of money lost.
That's
but once you lock into an 800, 1.3 million contracts,
you can't jump out.
Lock in, you got lock into the big contracts.
Yeah, and those companies they're not they're not stupid. They will ask you to pay in advance. In advance. So if you leave, they got nothing to. They have nothing lost.
But you will lose all the time in your deposit.
And deposit and everything, sort of like that, yes. So I would suggest to get your own, maybe a designer. So a good designer, they will even to become your project manager. So to look after the whole project. And because they know a lot of laws or a lot of regulations that you don't know, and then they could help you out in a very good way.
So any other things that I think you mentioned about the contract, how can they let you sign the variation or the extra costs? For variation, a lot of people may not understand the term variation, but the meaning is that if you want to change from 2.4 to 2.7, this is a change. Yes. And then they will ask you to sign.
They will ask me to sign extra, and then you have to pay the extra. It's sort of like the standard pack of I would say the bench island in the kitchen is like 20 mil, that thing.
Wow.
And it's really ugly. But if that's your house, you want to live in your dream house, you want to make it look good. So you have to upgrade.
Wow.
You have to upgrade, and then that's the thing they will
slot you. That's how you how you catch you.
And
all the changes.
Yeah, and those big companies, one ridiculous thing is they force you to use their own
subcontractor?
The subcontractor and the supplier. For example, like the washing machine, the dishwasher. They ask you have to use this company. Otherwise, I wouldn't connect the part for you.
Wow. So there's not out there to get a competitive price for you.
That's right.
Wow.
Even the thing, for example, you get it from I would say big good guys. You get it like $2,000. From them, they say $5,000. You have to pay for it. Otherwise, they wouldn't connect the pipe for you. You know what I mean? So
that's
bullying.
That's bullying.
That's bullying.
Wow.
So That's
it's also
why
against the competition law. I know that, I'm not sure whether you know that in Australia, ACCC, there's a law, they must be get a tender that have a competitions.
Yeah.
You can't unless you have very good reasons. Then you can go to one company. If it's common items like this, basically consumer, you have the right, to choose what you want.
But that's the thing I know afterwards, so that's why I suggest you find a good designer or good architecture firm, so they could help you. Yeah, they could help you to select things, and they could help you to protect your right, as you said. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is really challenging. I will use the word challenging, and I mean, you can pay for that variation, extra cost. I know some of my clients, if they know that this is their budget, say 900,000, if they borrow from the bank, and I think with the current situation, if you go back to the bank and get extra, most of the time the bank may not even let you to give you the extra.
That's right.
Yeah,
no,
so
you
even
have
more
to
challenging.
take out of your own pocket.
Not everyone can do it.
Yeah, that's right. So I would suggest you get a good designer, so they could protect you.
Wow, that's amazing. So maybe give us a few tips, top 3 tips that you can give it to friends who may be thinking of building in their dream home or their new homes. What is the best things that you can advise them?
Yeah, I would suggest to do not save money on the architects or the designers for that, and then because as I say, a lot of times they could protect you from being bullied by a DNC contract. And then the second thing,
if they do, well, maybe there's few options. One is to get a project manager or a very experienced designer architect. If someone really determined, say, I think there's choices out there in the market. If they really determined, really want to go to DNC contracts, what is the things that they should look up for? Should they engage a lawyer to review the the contract document on behalf of you? Because most of the time, I know the documents probably really think not someone's like me and you will be able to flip through the documents.
We don't have time to read through all this, and maybe we don't understand all the terms and conditions. So
what would you advise them? Probably they should get a lawyer to review the contract for them. Anything else that if someone really like to, I just happy with the DNC. Any things that can protect them, in terms of getting bullied by those big company.
I can't think of any other ways.
Okay.
Just maybe get a lawyer.
I think from my experience, if you don't mind, Danny, I will jump in here. Is a good lawyer, I think they will help you to protect your interests because they have the knowledge in the contract law. I think one of the things. Never sign something that you don't understand. I think probably is basic. I know it sounds basic,
that's very.
Still probably sometimes we can just jump in to get the things done and without looking, right?
Yes, that's right. And those big companies, they will lead you to, I would say, to a trap. They sign in front of you. This is good. This is good. Everything is good. They show you it's good, but a lot of things behind it you don't know. And
can you be more specific? What is the things that you felt that you?
I could give an example. I could give an example. For example, like my house, the front entry door. I can't even, to get my fridge inside because it's too narrow. It's way too narrow.
Wow.
They just at first they didn't tell me. And by looking at it on the drawings, I don't know nothing. It looks awesome. It looks all right. Everything's fine. But when you see it, that it's not all right. I can't move my furniture in because it's too narrow. That's the thing. But if you get a designer, maybe a designer, they will suggest you that maybe a 820 mil door is too narrow to for a house. maybe it's good for an apartment, but it's not good for a house. That's
I think
an example.
experience makes a big difference.
It is. It is.
So even I'm curious. Even you probably use their standard plans and still not all right. There's something quite surprised to me then.
Yeah, I could tell because so many things. There's hundreds and thousands of little
Small
details
details.
in the drawings that you might not aware of.
Yeah.
What they mention to you are the good things.
Yes.
But what they didn't mention to you, maybe they try to hide it from you because they know it's not good, so they didn't even mention it. And you as a
Consumer.
Yeah, as a consumer, you don't know nothing about building a house or designing a house, so.
So it can be quite complex, isn't it? The process. I'm sure that 3 years, a lot of people may not gone through, have a similar experience from design, paperwork, submit to council, and town planning, and then building permit, and then to building, bit by bit, wall by wall, literally, door by door, tile by tiles. That process may not be everyone can imagine, the amount of work and details behind
That's right.
it.
Yes.
So I'm sorry to hear this experience, but I hope that.
But it's good. It turns out good now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I live in the house. That's all right. It's a good house.
That's a good house. At least you are happy.
Yeah.
So maybe that few good tips, that helps to consumers next time if they are thinking of building their next dream homes, and they probably look out for these few tips.
That's right. Yes.
All right, okay. Thank you, sir. Today, that's coming in to share your experience.
No,
Wonderful.
amazing.
Thank you.